Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 47. Well, last time we managed to finish the bulk of the new construction hub, and today we will continue fine-tuning the thing. It still needs at least one episode worth of attention paid to it, so we can sort out the lingering issues that would plague it long-term if left unattended. I did go over those issues in the last episode, so I won't be listing them now, we are just going to get to work. Oh, and near the end of the video, we will also start working on the roads and rail tracks that will eventually end up going toward the new farms, so that is also something to look forward to. The very first thing we need to build is a firehouse. To be perfectly honest, I am amazed that nothing caught fire around here yet. Most of these buildings have been standing for a couple episodes now, and the fire setting is set to hard, so it's a small miracle we got away with it. Next, I think it would make sense to have the helicopters move the heavy machinery around. It will not only make it faster to have these vehicles at the ready, it will also free up some of the flatbed trucks to do other jobs. But to do that, we need to replace the helicopters with the Mi-10 cargo variant. Only those are capable of carrying such heavy loads. Next, we need to kickstart the local fuel delivery system, and that is only possible by delivering some gas to one of the distribution offices. Since the new hub is far away from the border, the new tanker trucks are completely out of fuel, so they can't go to the local storage tank to grab more. But a single delivery from Kirkimov will fix all that. And as soon as the new helicopters arrive, they are already looking for jobs to do. I will soon tell them to take a rest, since they will immediately go and work on the new city. But for now, let's just rehouse the heavy machinery, so they can be carried around by the choppers. I think it makes sense to move the pavers and rollers via helicopters too. The flyers are great for delivering small amounts of materials very quickly, but their real strength is the speed at which they can deliver these machines. Okay, we really need to stop them. There are buildings in the new city that I will most likely move to different places, so let's not get carried away. And while I'm thinking about it, let's set up the second construction group, so we can quickly tell them what to build. Like the firehouse. You guys can deliver to that construction site. There. All the machinery is neatly tucked away in their new homes. With enough room in the road offices, we can now unload the tower cranes. That doesn't look right. That's too much lumber. Let's set up the proper storage space allocations. I was convinced I already did this, but it seems I was mistaken. I'm really glad it was boards that got over-delivered. We can safely destroy the excess stocks, since they are super cheap. Oh, right, the cement. As I've said in the last episode, those two dry bulk carrying wagons were bought in error a while back. But suddenly, they are useful now. And there they are, off to deliver the cement. Next, let's sort out the workers for the local production plants. We only need about 10 workers in total, so a small helicopter will be perfectly adequate. The Mi-4 will do just fine. Just to be doubly sure, I did check if I could use the existing helipads to drop off workers, but sadly, it didn't work like that. And since I am now dedicated to using choppers for this job, this passenger station became obsolete. We need to replace it with a landing place for choppers. And would you look at that, the fuel delivery system is now operational. We just got the first train drop off, and since the trucks have fuel now, they can go and start distributing it. I will deal with that in a second, let's just finish the helipad. Since we weren't in a hurry, I did want to check if the plane helicopter parking could be used for passenger drop-offs, similar to the way buses can deliver workers to workplaces directly without needing to use a local bus stop. Later it will turn out to not be the case, but hey, it was worth a try. Now that the fuel distribution is live, we can stop the deliveries coming from Kirkimov. And we can tell one of the offices to start supplying gas to the local buildings that need the service. For now, it was just the construction offices. Let's not forget that the firehouse will need a helipad of its own. Now that the helicopters have fuel, they are eager to start delivering stuff. This time, it's gravel. Also, these dirt roads are no longer necessary. We only needed them to build the helipads. Since the heavy machinery was moved to the helipads, we have quite a bit of extra room in one of the offices. I will likely fill it with flatbeds, but only time will tell. So far, it seems that getting rid of that traffic light was the way to go with this intersection. It served us very well while a lot of construction traffic was moving through it, but now that things are calmer, it was more trouble than it's worth. Oh, right. Let's not forget to continue building the railroad heading to the new city. It's bad enough that the rail construction office is so far away. And we can't have a new one until the new city is populated. Let's just make sure I didn't accidentally pause construction on any of the rail segments. Nice, all major construction sites in the area are now fully assigned, it's just a matter of time now. I was about to buy some flatbed trucks for the new empty vehicle slots, but let's just wait until we can better judge what we really need, when we are building the new city. What we can do instead, is maybe buy a couple more tower cranes, specifically for the helicopters to carry around. Sadly, the 75 meters models we bought earlier are too heavy, but the 45 meters ones are light enough, so let's set up the deliveries. I think 4 will be more than enough, We can just split them between the two offices that have the bulldozers and excavators. The one with the pavers and rollers is already a bit cramped. Anyways, time to set up the deliveries. It's a bit convoluted, but that's what realistic mode is all about after all. We need to send the trucks to the road depots, so they can be set up for dedicated delivery routes. Then we need to tell them to move vehicles from the border to the helipad offices. But unlike the last time, we cannot just reassign them to the office once they pick up the cranes. The trucks cannot fit into the helipad offices, so they cannot be assigned. We need to wait for them to drop the cranes off, and then we can send them back home. I was a bit hesitant. I wasn't sure which office I sent which truck, but I think I got it right. As I've said, we cannot just reassign the trucks once they pick up the cranes, so we need to keep an eye on them, so they don't waste fuel going in circles once their job is done. Ah, there you are. Way more quick than I anticipated. Might as well grab a ride. Oh, good thing we drove past the old Kirkomov DO. I've been meaning to replace these old vehicles for quite a while now. There. Now that office is fully modernized. I thought I was grabbing one of the crane delivery trucks, but this first one was from Kirkomov. I was a bit confused when I ended up with 5 trucks, but at least I could confirm my suspicion while editing the footage. And there. We have all 4 cranes delivered. We still have a truck running in circles out there, but thankfully I will discover it later. Anyways, time to buy the firefighting helicopters, and put our minds at ease. As I've said, it's a small miracle these buildings managed to survive for so long without fire coverage. And there they come. And since all helipads are now complete, we can give this thing a try. Yep, the plane landing pads cannot be used to drop off workers. Hey, at least we tested it, so now we know. So, what we need is a proper passenger helipad. I think only the fuel trucks will ever visit this place from the road entrance, so we can safely mirror it. And off they go. Helicopters buzzing around like bees is always a happy sight. Might as well buy a couple more earth-moving machinery. We have the space and money, so why not? This is where I noticed that this was one of the crane delivery trucks, so I sent it home. I was a bit confused about why we have 5 trucks now, but I didn't want to spend time hunting down where the 5th one came from, so I let this go. At least now I know it was one of the Kirkimov construction trucks. I was tempted to start working on the city again, but I got a bit intimidated by the amount of work required. I came to realize that we cannot really have any foot traffic going over the central rail tracks, the distances are too great. We will need to create self-sufficient service pockets on both sides of the station, and I wasn't ready to start working on such a big job just yet. I will need to dedicate a whole episode to it. Anyways, how about we grab a ride on one of the cement mixers? You know me, I like mixing in some relaxing moments into the busy gameplay. Whoa, the road is really bumpy. This part isn't so bad. Well, we're back to the bumpiness. Holy cow, I know Soviet roads were atrocious, but this is something else. At least the drivers can be safe in the knowledge that they won't be suffering from kidney stones. If they start developing one, a single ride through these roads will shake anything loose. So, this is the materials needed to build the foundation for the helipad. And as soon as the concrete arrives, the helicopters immediately bring in the diggers. Good job. Good. After the foundations are done, we only need to bring in some steel, and that's that. I was wondering why only 4 excavators were present, but then I remembered that the Kirkimov offices were also assigned to this site. There is no need for that right now. We only really need the help of the first construction hub is when all the materials are delivered. Let's watch the truck spring to life, delivering the steel. Nice. And as soon as it's dropped off, we should see the cranes get delivered too. Here they come. Good. Now we just need the buses to bring in the workers. Which reminds me, I really shouldn't have filled all 4 helicopter slots in the construction offices with cargo helicopters. 1, or maybe even 2 of those slots should be reserved to passenger choppers. They can bring in workers from abroad already, but for that, we need the proper models. We still need the cargo variants for the heavy machinery, but not all of them needed for that job. Plus passenger helicopters can still deliver materials just fine. So yeah, I think I will sell some of them in the next episode, and buy some that can carry people. That way, we don't need to rely on the old buses to bring in workers anymore. Anyways, as you might have guessed from my camera work there, I am starting work on the farm branch. We will need to get this done if we ever want to make use of those fields. Choosing the bridge is always a big decision. Nope. Since I don't expect to ever see ships sailing down these narrow crossings, I will go with the bridge with the trusses on the bottom. Going over the wider parts of the river, that will be a whole other story though. This looks okay right now. For now, let's just hook up what we have to the rest of the network. Nice and easy. No need to overcomplicate things for a junction that will see little traffic. Only really need this to pick up the crops after all. Anyways, now that the overall curvature of the branch is taking shape, this little kink in the line is a bit much. Before we continue, let's take care of the worker deliveries. A little spoiler warning, I will mess this one up, and will only notice the error once the episode is over. I did set the drop-off helipad right at first, but then I misclicked, and when I thought I was configuring the pickup, I was actually messing with the drop-off. And I will wonder why I didn't see any workers arrive later. Oh well, at least I know what the problem is, so it will be an easy fix in the next episode. It's not like we need any concrete just yet, so the error isn't a big one. Now, back to the railroad. If we move the bridge a little bit further up the shore, it should allow us to place the tracks with a little less curvature. Oh yeah, much better. Going over the wide parts of the river though, that one I really wanted to be elevated higher than this. I already knew that it's too far away, but hey, can't blame me for trying. So, unfortunately, to really complete the job, we need to build a construction outpost. And that will require road bridges. Choosing the right place for the crossing, that needed some time to decide. I think the best option is to go over the tracks where the texture bug occurred, and then make a beeline for the farms from there. You know what that means? That's right, it's overpass time. As usual, first we need the guardrails to prevent clipping. That's the leveling tool dum-dum. I think the bridge with the steel arch on the bottom will be perfect for this. We just need the two ends to be a bit closer, so the pillars won't overlap with the tracks. Just like that. Lovely. Let's make sure the ramp is wide enough. With the neighbor snapping turned on, it's a really easy job. The ramp itself is looking good. As for the road itself, I pretty much gave up on ever having a smooth ride in this game, so I won't even bother. Anyways, we can still do better, so I pushed the road back even further, for an even gentler ramp. Now that's what I call a smooth ride. Well, theoretically, we all know what the final result will be like. But it does look great from far away. The down ramp is also looking good. I think I'm happy with the overall result. Alright, with all the grass cleaned up, we can continue with the road. I was about to upgrade the new segments to gravel, but then I saw that the offices already started working on the bridge, so I just left them to it. This shoreline looks a bit on the low side. Oh yeah, not sure I like this. Let's give it a try nonetheless. The bridge is way too close to the water. Let's try once more, but I already know that this will not fly. Yeah, let's just bring the bridges up to the usual elevation. Wait, instead of elevating it, we can just use the other side as the guide height. And that's all we need to worry about. Let's sort out this ramp though. So, we need to build 3 bridges before we can build that construction outpost, after which we can start working on the proper river crossing. With the new hub close by, I really hope it won't take too long. All that's left is to smooth out the area, so it looks a bit less artificial. That will do it for now. We can just replant the trees in the next episode. This is where I checked the workers in the 2 production plants, but they were empty. I didn't realize that I messed up the passenger route yet, so I assumed it was because of the frequency of arrivals, instead of the bad setup. So I bought 2 more choppers, and added them to the line. I think this is where we will leave things for today. I can only think of 2 things that we need to do to improve the new hub. We need to buy some passenger helicopters for the offices, so we don't need to rely on the buses to bring in workers from Estergrad, and of course, we need to fix the ones we already have, so they actually do the right thing. After that, we will let them work on the bridges by themselves, and I think we can at long last get to work on the city. As I've said, I think we will need to build separate service centers on both sides of the tracks. The distances between the 2 halves is too great to have any meaningful foot traffic between them. We will also need to sort out the goods distribution. That might be the first thing we tackle. I would much rather have it all laid out, before I build anything else, with the risk of accidentally boxing things in too much, leaving too little space for the infrastructure. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, then leaving a like and subscribing to the channel just might motivate me to make more. If you are more in the donating mood, you can find a link to my Ko-fi page in the description, where you can buy me a glass of water. I don't really drink coffee. Thank you for your support, and until next time, I will see you later.